Hey everyone, it's Sani. I've got a review for you today, and this is, as the title can, as you can see in the title, it is for the Perfect Luminous Liquid Foundation by Dolce & Gabbana. And I really wanted to do this foundation. I haven't done many foundation reviews. That's because I switch them around all the time. And this is one of those things that I have been pretty much faithful to since I bought it, so this is why I'm doing the review. Also, before I start the actual review, I'll comment on, just this morning I kind of dip-dyed the ends. I used a kind of a shampoo in product from Bleach London. You can buy them in Boots in the UK. I'm not sure if they're available outside of the UK actually. It's a London-based salon and they have kind of like all kinds of crazy colors. And this will wash out, but I thought it'd be a little bit of kind of a fun spring thing to do, to go a little bit pink on the ends. So yes, that's, I'll put a link to the shade that I used below. But yeah, so that's my hair over and done with. So on to the foundation. So I bought this probably a month ago, and this is, so it is, the official name is The Foundation Perfect Luminous Liquid Foundation. My shade is 120, and 120 is called Natural Beige. And I bought this in Harrods in London, and I think it was around the £35 mark. It was actually, that is not a cheap foundation, but in a way it is a cheap foundation because it is very high-end foundation, and some like compared to Tom Ford or compared to some of the other ones, it is a lot cheaper. And there is 30 milliliters, 1 flow ounce in here, so it's a normal size, and it is a pump bottle. Oh my god, I absolutely love that. This doesn't have any SPF on it whatsoever, so it is great if you're it's probably, if you want SPF, I would put it on with your primer or separately, I would wear this in the evening. It's a beautiful foundation after kind of like after dark. It's amazing the way it glows, and also it's amazing for photography because it doesn't have the SPF. So ideally I would be stocking this in my kit. The reason why I'm not is that it's a glass bottle, so they're heavy and you have to have tons of them. And also if a glass bottle breaks while I'm on my way to a client, that is kind of a major problem. So I stock foundations that are not in glass, but if somebody out there from Dolce & Gabbana, just make, cheaper looking version in a plastic bottle, and I would immediately start stocking this for my clients. I am so in love with it. I actually, I started using this because I got a tester from Cornelia from Baby Cake 390. I'll put a link to her channel below. And it was the wrong shade. It was a little bit too dark. It was shade 140, I think it was. There's something about this foundation that it really adapts to your skin tone. So I pretty much got away with it even though it was too dark for me. And I'm just gonna tell you what it says on this because it is amazing. I just went on the website and it says, illuminate your complexion with Dolce & Gabbana Perfect Luminous Liquid Foundation. Sophisticated fluid foundation subtly highlights the skin with golden reflections for a flawless, dewy finish. Now, I want to say about the golden reflections, there's no specks of gold anywhere, so don't worry. It's not like a glittery finish. It's not even a shimmery finish. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my hand here. And like when I shear it out, as you can see, there's no weird kind of shimmery particles or anything like that. I think because it says it has illuminating powders that reflect the light for a radiant glow, so the particles clearly must be so small that you can't detect them with your eyes, which is great, which is what you'd expect. It is fragrance free. It's buildable coverage. I'm going to show you how I put it on, and I'll build a couple of bits of my face. I'll put like a second layer on, so I'll show you how to do that. And there is, one of the major pluses is that there's 18 shades to choose from. So that is a really, like I find for a high-end kind of line, that is a good selection of shades. You don't normally get stuff, that kind of selection of shades with brands like MAC or Illamasqua or Makeup Forever, like specifically makeup artist brands. So I'm really impressed. I like the packaging. It is like for personal use, it is that comfortably kind of very weighty type packaging. I I especially am impressed with the pump. I often have issues if when you pump stuff out, too much comes out. You need several pumps. This one pump is perfect for the face. And also I can do half pumps. I'll show you that when I apply. So that's a great thing, because often pumps will disperse too much and you end up wasting the product. So yeah, that's not great. In the UK, I'm not sure where, because I bought mine in the UK. I bought mine in Harrods. So as far as I know, but I'm not an authority on where you can buy this. That was a place where I found it in London. I don't know if they have it in Selfridges. I did check Liberty's and they didn't have it. And basically it's where Dolce & Gabbana makeup is available, which is not, sadly, it's not widely, but obviously you can order it online. The color system is actually weirdly forgiving. And I was talking to the girl when she was like color matching me, and she said, yeah, you can go, shade up, shade down, maybe even two, because it does match. It kind of adapts to your skin tone really well. And I'm surprised because they don't mention anything about that on the website. And I think they really should, because that's a unique selling point, if anything, at least for me it is. So I'm going to show you how I apply the foundation. And as my base, as a primer, before the foundation, I'm going to use the Embryolisse. This is called, in English, Complexion Illuminating Veil in an SPF 20. Now, with a foundation like the Dolce & Gabbana, also this is with Touche Eclat, I use that, YSL's Touche Eclat, an illuminating foundation. I tend to use a ever so slightly matte primer, and whereas with a matte foundation I use a slightly illuminating primer. That's because I've got combination skin, so I kind of alternate. I want to be able to use whatever foundation, so I kind of switch around the primer and make it work for myself. So as I mentioned, this foundation has a pump, and that is my favorite kind of foundation. And usually I can get away with just one pump. And what I do is I put it on the back of my hand, I dot it around my skin. Now I've tried to use this foundation just with my fingers, with a beauty blender, like a traditional foundation brush, but with like so many foundations, my favorite way is to use a buffing brush. Now this is by Tarte. This one is the equivalent from Real Techniques that loads of people use. Loads of companies have their own version, but basically you just buff the foundation in. Now this is the type of foundation that you need to be careful when you work with it. So it doesn't set super quickly. So brush marks, like that's why I don't like using it necessarily with a normal foundation brush. It can show brush marks, so I like to really buff it in. But the nice thing about a foundation like this is you've got time to work with it. It doesn't set too quickly. So I'm going to take the tiniest bit more, like half a pump. It's a good pump. You can actually kind of really decide how much you're going to pump out, so you don't have to commit to the full pump. And I'm just going to buff that in. So that's 2 layers. Well, that's 1 layer and just a little bit here. And I love the cover it gives and the luminosity. I'm just going to put some under eye concealer on while I'm talking to you. This is Vichy's Teint Idéal. It's like a little roller ball thing. I love the coverage that it gives me. It's perfect for my skin, and I don't like coverage that's too light, but I'm not like a Estee Lauder Double Wear that's a little bit too much for me. Double Wear Light, on the other hand, amazing for me. But yeah, I do love the coverage that it gives. I've also used this with tons of different powders, but I find a very finely, very finely milled translucent powder is best. Today I'm just going to use Illamasqua's translucent powder, and I just use the same. I often use the same kind of brush that I used for my under eye concealer. I use it under the eyes for the powder. Now with this foundation, if I don't want to, if I want to remain dewy, I just literally use powder under my eye, and then I always really do around the nose here. That gets really shiny. and then I do just where I've got bigger pores just here, and also that's where we put a little bit more of the foundation. Now what I have found, if you want to powder your whole face, it's better to pat it on. I don't want to, you know, really kind of brush it around too much. So I really like using Makeup Forever's Professional 180 brush, and I'm loving this for powder anyways. So I pick a little bit up. It's like really flat, and I pat it on, kind of like just patting it on super lightly with this. And I really like the kind of powder, non-powder powder effect that it gives. But yeah, I'm not going all the way to the edge here or to my cheekbones. But like I said, I've used it with tons of different powders, so it works very well with lots of different ones. It's more about be careful not to disturb it too much if it hasn't set when you powder. I'm just going to put on a little bit of bronzer, blush, do my eyebrows and lips, and I'll be right back so you don't have to look at me in a weird kind of half done state. So I just quickly finished my face up, and I would like to say that this is definitely a kind of holy grail material for me. I love the way that it feels on my skin. You've got time to work with it, and so you can kind of really blend it in. You do have to wait a little tiny bit for it to set, but you know, that's fine by me. I could be doing my eyebrows or something like that before I powder. And then I'm in love with the packaging because there's a pump. The only thing that would make this better is if it was in a plastic bottle, so then I could stock it for all of my clients as well. But oh well, then I guess it wouldn't be Dolce & Gabbana because they don't put stuff in plastic. Whoa, that was gonna slip. That would have been an expensive kind of little slip. But like I said before, on me this wears a full day but not a long day. So it doesn't wear for 16 hours. It wears for about 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours. So if I put it on at like 7 a.m. by 5 p.m. or something like that, I do need a little bit of a touch-up. I can see that it has disappeared a little bit, but it hasn't disappeared in one of those ways where it like starts cracking on your skin, if you know what I mean. So it actually kind of disappears quite nicely. So I keep saying so today, way too much. Anyways, for me, I would give it, if I had to give it stars, for me, I would give it 4 stars. 4 stars, not 5 stars, because I personally want it in a plastic container so I can stock it for my clients. And also, I think that if it was to last just a tiny bit longer, it would definitely be my holy grail. So I am going to try their matte version of this as well and see how that is. Because what I love about it is that it is illuminating, but illuminating in a way where somebody with mixed combination kind of skin can wear it. So yeah, 4.5 stars. And thank you so much for watching. If you've tried this or if you've tried the other Dolce & Gabbana foundations, please let me know below. And also if you've got any other amazing foundation loves right now, yeah, please let me know. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.